Hey guys, got another one for you. This one I don't know where this one actually came from, to tell you the truth. So looks like it's probably in some sort of like a checkbox or something. Yep. I wouldn't think that it would be checks. Who knows? Maybe somebody forgot what they're mailing and just decided to send me a bunch of blank checks. How cool would that be? Anyways, let's see here. Is this taped up? Yep, it's taped up. Alrighty. If I could ever get it open. Set off to the side. Set off to the side. Oh, I'm gonna be pretty upset. I'm actually gonna be very upset if this is what I think it is. And nope, that's not. Okay. So, let's see if you guys can pick this up. There's some pearl. It's got a crack right there, as you guys can see. Pretty nasty little crack. Got this one at a fair price. Not great, but pretty fair. It's kind of hard to see where our nail nick is here. Guys, don't mind, give me a second. So I don't have any nails right now. But there is the blade. And made by Winchester. Model 3357. I bought this one kind of as a probably a future fixer-upper. But that pearl's just coming off right there. Let's see if I can show this. Like if I push down on it, it goes down a little bit. So I can definitely feel that it's coming up. It's got a old nail file. Good snaps on the blades for sure. Nice little pen blade. And that one says Winchester as well. I'm not sure about the other one, I didn't even look. Make sure all three of them say Winchester on them. And yep, there it is, okay. That's one thing, you always kind of want to check if you buy certain old knives. A lot of the manufacturers out there stamped all the blades so that way in case if somebody took out a blade to replace it or something with another one. I recently was looking at a couple of items on eBay, and they actually at one point the seller had known that one of the blades had been swapped out. Now it had been swapped out with a later model of the same company, but it was an actual different a different model year. And so somebody took parts of certain knives and actually replaced it, and that will actually devalue the actual knife itself. So even though if you go out and you clean up, you take all these, you know, the rust off of it or the patina off of a knife and make it all nice and clean again, that doesn't devalue it, it actually increases the value. But if you swap out a blade, even if it's the same manufacturer but it's a different model year, that will actually highly decrease the value. And I'm not sure whether or not if the people that were bidding on it actually realized that, because it still went for a real high value. So that was one thing that definitely held me back. So I ended up not getting it because I was going to actually spend a fortune on it, but because of the fact that it didn't have the original blades in it, who's to say that, you know, somebody didn't take a real old blade or a real new blade because it was in real good condition. I had a feeling that they took new blades, or newer year model blades, and threw them inside of the actual knife itself, because he had the model year and the shape was correct of the handle, but I wasn't positive on the blade shape, as well as he didn't do the tang stamps. So that was one big thing, was, you know, had he shown the actual tang stamps, then it probably wouldn't have gone for so much. But he had just stated that it was one of the pen blades, so I was unsure. But very, very cool. This one is very old. It was made, I don't know, you guys probably might remember better than I will. Let's see here, in between 1865 to present. Oh wait, nope, my bad. This one was probably made, yeah, in between the years of 1865 to present. My bad. So, at least I believe that to be true. I'm not sure. This could actually be one of the newer models. I'm gonna have to actually look this one up further. But pretty cool little knife, minus the pearl crack, which really sucks. I didn't think it was that bad, but I just thought it was just this one crack right here. I didn't think it was a whole chip missing out of there. So, oh well, I'm happy with it. It's nice. Just got to be very careful with putting it away and everything. Make sure that that pearl doesn't snag on something and break away. It's still a pretty cool little knife. I've been getting a lot of questions lately as towards why I'm getting into slip joints so much. One thing that I found was, now I'm not necessarily out to make money off of knives. I'm out to pretty much, I don't know, get some enjoyment out of stuff. One thing that I do like, if you guys have ever seen any of my earlier videos, is I like handle materials. I like stuff that's, you know, something that you don't just see on a daily basis. You know, rare woods, rare stones, you know, stuff that you just don't see on a daily basis. And so with getting a lot of old knives, you can get a lot of different types of materials that's cool and has different colorations and stuff like that. I've been buying a lot of stag and bone handle and stuff like that lately, but that's another part to it, is I do it as kind of like a saving money type situation. There is money to be made in doing slip joints. If you can find, you know, good deals on slip joints, then, you know, they're definitely a good buy, because you never know, later on down the road, something that's like this, maybe not necessarily this one in particular, but certain knives, like some of the recent ones that I've acquired, are definitely worth more than what I paid for them. So I just got them at the right time, when somebody bid on something bigger and won with that, and actually spent their whole, you know, wad of money. So now they're not bidding on the other little ones that I happen to be grabbing up. So I haven't quite gotten into that upper echelon yet, you know, $500–600 old knives, but I'm in that area where I'm comfortable with buying multiples of very old, very rare knives. So, you know, you take these things, if you get them cleaned up and, you know, looking nice again, then you just improve the value of it. So whatever I spent on this, I can't exactly remember the price, but, you know, something like this, if I take it, I clean up the blades, I remove the scratches, and give it a nice shine to it again, somebody's going to be willing to pay more than what I paid for it. So there's a little bit of money to be made. One thing about eBay, though, is that, yeah, you have to pay all those fees. You have to pay for shipping, you know, or not shipping, but you do have to pay for the PayPal fees, and usually that's monthly. So when you sell a lot of stuff on eBay, you actually, you've got to figure that percentage as you're selling it so that you set some of that money off to the side, because it's really drastic when you get hit, at the end of the month. When you've got a bunch of stuff that all comes in at, the end of the month, and it's like if you sold 20 knives like I have before, and next thing you know, it's like you owe PayPal 3%, 4% of whatever it is that you just bought. You're looking at whatever, plus you have to pay eBay another percentage of everything that you sold as well. So at the end of the month, you're sitting here going, holy cow, I just made $1,000, but now I have to fork over $250 of that money for everything that I just sold. So basically that's one bad thing about eBay. I stopped selling there a while back just because I found it a little bit harder to maintain what it was that I was selling, because I'm selling stuff that I paid at my cost for the same cost, and I end up losing because I already paid for the shipping. I didn't pay for the PayPal, but now I've got to pay for the PayPal, and so it actually cost me more money to end up buying it than it did to resell it, even though I never even actually used it. So that's one thing that you can end up losing in eBay. But I got into stuff like this just because it's a good investment. There is always the likelihood that you could end up losing money. But the way that I see it, regardless, if I can't resell it for what I paid for it, I may take a little bit of a loss, but the looks of it and everything else is just, it's worth it to me to hold on to. This stuff, you could hold on to this for the next 40, 50 years, pass it on to your children, whatever, your grandchildren, and they could hold on to it for 40 years, and you never know. People have retired off of selling knives that their grandfathers passed on to them, so, or their fathers, or however it's worked. It's primarily an investment for me, because I have a real hard time saving money. So the best thing that I figure that for me is to find hobbies or outlets of ways that I could purchase stuff that in the long run I'll be able to sell later on down the road to save my own rear if I ever need it. So that's a lot of it. But I got into slip joints more as a project. If you watch some of my earlier slip joint videos, I got into it as a project, and actually really turned into something that I just really started to enjoy. Just because you can buy all these that you want, but in the long run, it's like every time that you buy one and you use it, it becomes devalued almost instantly. Whereas these things have already been used. You're getting them at a reasonable cost, even though they're very old and worn out and everything else like that. But if you can manage to fix these up, then who knows what you can make. I see guys selling something like this that they've sent off to a cleaner, and let's say that I paid $60 for this. Now I pay a professional cleaner to pull it all apart, clean it all, professionally polish it, and then send it back to me, and he charges me $75 for it. Well, now the knife is worth $150, but guess what? It just sold for $500 because it's mint, or it looks mint, and people are willing to pay very high prices for that. It just depends upon the rarity of it and how nice it is and how well maintained it is. So even if it's not well maintained, it still looks well maintained because it's highly polished and everything looks new. The bolsters are repinned, everything's repinned, so it actually gains more value than what you put into it. That's just one thing that I've learned. So it's an investment. I started it off as a project, but I really just started to really enjoy the purchasing of them, and learning the history of all of these companies, and finding out backgrounds of stuff that I never knew before. So that's kind of the way that it's going. You know, I haven't stepped into that higher echelon yet of purchasing, you know, high-end customs and stuff like that, but I don't know. There's just something that's a lot different than me buying, you know, basic Spydercos. I've seen, you know, I've been collecting Spydercos since I think I was 15. I think my first Spyderco was a stainless steel police model, fully serrated. So that was my very first Spyderco I ever gotten. My mom bought it for me, and I actually had it confiscated by the police. So one thing, you know, I've got pretty much at the point where tactical knives don't really interest me anymore. You know, new age type stuff, because I found pretty much ones that really suit me and ones that keep me happy on a regular basis. So that's pretty much the reason why I've gone away from Spydercos, Benchmades, tactical knives. You know, I've actually been leaning more towards getting some more fixed blades, even though I'm not a fixed blades person. But I've been seeing a couple of custom makers making some really nice ones that are going on the moderate level, you know, $200–300 per knife, but they have really nice handles, really nice file work, and, you know, a lot of detail to their work. So it's just, you know, it's what keeps you happy, and this is something that keeps me happy. So that's why I've been getting into it, and hopefully that answered some questions for you guys. I know I already answered a lot of people's questions, but for those that may not have read the actual comment returns that I've posted, there you go. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. I am expecting some more knives to be coming in sometime soon, so look forward to those. Thanks for watching.